Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. Today I wanted to do a little bit of a story time with you guys, a bit of a marauder story time with you guys. And also this is a really big thanks to a guy called Chris Tout. Chris Tout is a guy who is a fan of the show, and he has gifted me some pretty cool stuff in the past. He gave me Paladins before, like last year, and now he actually gave me a Kronos because he saw that video I made about how I lost a Kronos to Triglavian hunting, and he thought, okay, I'll give him a new Kronos. So he gave me a new Kronos actually, and I fit it up right here. So it's a pretty bling fit Kronos right here. I mean, you can obviously go harder, but we got the core X type large armor repairs and some C type multispectrums over here. Basically, this is supposed to hunt Triglavians, and it's supposed to be a very upgraded version of the previous Kronos I used to do Triglavian hunting in. So this has got some really good tank, like a really damn good tank, and with Asclepian implants it's got absolutely amazing tank. Like I've got Asclepian implants in right now. You can see this armor repair rate, really crazy, and we've got some good resists too going on as well. So this ship is really good. It's got some pretty good application to Triglavians as well, because the blasters, they have pretty good application, because thankfully the blasters, they have good enough application to even apply to the small Damaviks, so they can just about hit them. So it's really good. You can actually volley them, but just about. You will miss a few shots. So really thanks a lot to him for gifting me this hull of the Kronos, so I can fit then a new ship to hunt Triglavians. However, I do not think there is going to be much more solo Triglavian hunting going on in the Kronos, and there's a particular reason why. I might try again with a different fit, but there's a particular reason why, and this is what I would say is my luckiest day in EVE Online. Like, I don't think I've ever been this lucky in my entire life. That is that when I was doing Triglavian hunting, okay, I was doing solo Triglavian hunting, and it was going alright. I just went and I found a new fleet, and this was a fleet of Triglavians that was so big. I have never seen a Triglavian fleet of that size before. My overview was maybe this big, something like this, and just a full overview with Triglavians, and even more. Like, it was just full overview and more with Triglavians. I'd never seen a Triglavian fleet that big. I think actually it might be that perhaps, and I'm just guessing, but it might be that like two fleets spawned in on the same location or something, because I've never seen anything like it. It was just like so much bigger than anything I've seen the Triglavians field before. So it was so big, and I was just thinking, oh, I might go pop here. I mean, I've got a good tank, but I might go pop here. So I decide then to warp out. I can't warp out because Triglavians scram, so I guess that I have no choice but to fight. Now, I tried to record this. I did not work because I have some problem with my graphics card driver that sometimes when I press the recording button, then it just corrupts the file, and my graphics card driver restarts. And I didn't want to mess too much with it. I could get it to work, but I didn't want to mess too much with it because it was super stressful. Like having to click out driver things, I don't have time for that when the big Triglavian fleet is on my face with a 3 bill worth of Kronos right here. So the battle ensues. There's this big battle with the Triglavians. The Kronos fighting for his life. And I was able to actually down quite a few Triglavians, killing them very fast as I could, just like using the blasters to mow down all the cruisers and try to kill the battleships to do a lot of DPS. But there were so many ships, man. There were so many frigates, cruisers. There were just too many. So I just kept killing them, and my tank was slowly going down. And the way my tank works here is that I'm actually cap stable with one repper, or just about cap stable. And if I turn these off, it's a little bit better situation with the cap. So I turn this off, and I'm cap stable. And then I use the second armor repair in like emergency situations. So it got quite quickly to the point where I couldn't just use this one armor repair. I had to use two. And then you can see here, I'm cap stable. And what does it mean when you cap stable? You're not going to be going on forever. So you can see sort of where this is going. Gradually, I was getting less and less cap. I was actually able to tank them. I was surprised I was even able to tank them. So that at least shows that this amount of HP per second is good for taking out the Triglavian fleets. But the cap wasn't enough. My cap was just going down until we approached that 25% mark or like 30%, I think it was, something like that, where the capacitor recharge rate will significantly go down if it goes below that. And then I was getting stressed out, like, oh man, what's going to happen now? And then obviously they've got newts on the grid, and usually Triglavian newts are not that much of a problem for me, but the thing is there are just so many ships that actually they were becoming a problem. So I was getting neuted out, and it came to the point where I was just about to like go down, when the capacitor was going like, very, very low, very, very low, and then eventually I was just trying to shoot them as much as I could, shoot them with my blasters, but eventually my capacitor gave way. It went out, and then I thought, okay, there is no chance for my Kronos right now. And it was just, I was trying to save the cycle, the repair, stop cycling the repair as much as I could. It wasn't working. The capacitor just kept on going further down, because when you go past this like 25% mark, then the capacitor recharge rate is just so low. I was just almost approaching 0 until it finally hit 0, and then I was just like, yep, that is it. Rest in peace, a 3-bill Kronos. And this was literally the first time I ever took this out. I felt bad for Chris Stout gifting me this Kronos hull, and then me fitting it with blingy modules and then just losing it straight away. It was working good though, but just I've never encountered a fleet. I fought so many of these Triglavian fleets. I've never seen a fleet that big before. So my capacitor was empty. I was preparing to then warp out with my capsule, because I think they do pod if you stay there for too long. You can see here my armor and structure was taking a lot of damage to the point where I had half hull. And then I just prepared to warp out, right click, just waiting for my inevitable explosion. And then suddenly, you know what happens? The Triglavians decide to just warp off. They just pissed off like that. I don't understand why they warped off at the time. Like, why are they warping off? Why? They just warped off. They were just about to kill me. They were just about to get a 3-bill-isk kill mail. And then they just decided to warp off. I was like, what? Is this a miracle or something? I have never really encountered much like this in real life. This is one of those special, like, once in a lifetime, or very few in a lifetime moments that it just felt like that was an actual miracle right there. Just when I was about to die, they decide to warp off. So then I go and look around the system and repair up, and, you know, just a bit shocked. Go to my station I had my items in, and then I look on the bookmarks where I saved the wormhole. Just looking at the wormhole and the combat, the scanner probes, and I see that the wormhole had in fact despawned. It literally just despawned on the time that I was about to die, because when I started that fleet, because what I usually do is when I log in to fight Triglavians, I check that the wormhole is still there, because if the wormhole is not there, they're just going to warp off. Or if there is a small fleet left, I think they do warp off if you just start fighting them a bit. So it literally just despawned not so long ago, to the point that allowed me to actually survive, because they warped off like that. And then, you know what else I see? When I go to dock near the station, I see the guy Hateless Gaming. This is his channel right here. He's a YouTuber who focuses a lot on the PvE side of EVE Online. Does a lot of cool mission stuff, Triglavian hunting stuff, also some Abyss stuff as well. And I just encountered him. I just say, hey man, I almost lost this Kronos right here. You could have maybe seen that explosion. But he was like, oh, okay, sorry. And then he says that, oh, I was actually just rolling wormholes as well. Rolling wormholes! He was the one who just happened to, out of complete coincidence, roll the Triglavian wormhole, because I think he's doing something where he rolls the Triglavian wormholes to get better spawns or something. So he was using a very, like, what rolling wormholes means, for you guys who don't know, is that if you take a very heavy ship, a typical ship is a Megathron with like some special rigs that give it extra weight, and basically what this does is that when you go through a wormhole, can be a Triglavian wormhole, any other kind of wormhole, it eventually has a mass limit, because a certain amount of mass can go through a wormhole before it despawns. So he has a very heavy ship, you could say, and he was just going through it to try to get it to despawn. So he just happened to, out of complete coincidence, roll that wormhole at the second pretty much that I was about to die. That is what I would really say is a miracle right there. Luckiest day I've ever had in EVE Online. I have never had a luckier day than that right there. by far my luckiest day right there, and I thank him a lot. Thank him a lot. It is just really, he was just out of complete coincidence managed to save me 3 bill worth of Kronos right here. So I was just so glad that I was able to get away like that, and it was just so funny how it just happened to be that he was there and just was rolling wormholes exactly when I was about to pop. It just, I was just, I had no words at that point really, other than thanks for him. So thanks a lot to him for that. He saved that day for me, and also saved Chris Tout's really generous gift as well. So some little like lessons you could say I learned from that fleet at least was that the tank was okay. The tank, like HP per second, in terms of HP per second, it was okay. I had enough tank there. So the capacitor was the main issue. So there are some alternatives I could have done. So it could have been perhaps that I would have swapped this out for a Nosferatu. You can actually use these Nosferatus on like NPCs, and you can actually use this to just drain their capacitor. So you can even put 2 of these like heavy Nosferatus maybe, and even put maybe a medium one even, like this. Look, you can see we're almost cap stable right here. So we have a lot more capacitor with doing that. But I don't particularly like the armor tanks for doing this Triglavian hunting stuff solo. The reason is, as well as that, just generally speaking, the shield tanks, they have a good time being able to get a high amount of HP per second because of how shield boosters, they have the access to the extra large shield boosters, but that enables them to get really good HP per second with only 1 slot. We have to basically have 2 large repairers here to get equivalent amount of tank as an extra large shield booster. So that's a bit unfortunate right there for armor tank things. But the main thing I actually don't like with armor tank ships is the way armor repairs work. Since you are in very hairy situations, like where you can get like suddenly a lot of DPS going on, so because the one thing is, when these waves were occurring, sometimes there was a lot of DPS, sometimes there was a little bit of DPS, sometimes there was a lot of DPS, sometimes there was a little bit of DPS. The armor repairs are not good for these kind of situations because of the way they work. They have an activation time of 11 seconds, and they give that armor repair rate when this 11-second cycle has ended. So that means you can't really get the rep going on exactly the time you want it to go off. Because a shield booster, on the other hand, works that when you click the booster, it gives you a shield boost. But the thing is, when you click the armor repairer, especially the large one, because the large repairers have longer cycles than the smaller ones. So I have to wait 11 seconds because I click it, and then 11 seconds, then I get the armor repair boost. So that means that it's hard for me to predict when I need to get the armor to go on and not, because sometimes the DPS can suddenly increase. So what this essentially caused is that this makes it so that I overrep a lot, or if I don't overrep a lot, I bleed into structure. That's also a problem. We don't want that to happen as well. So I either overrep or bleed into structure, and this can be very problematic. And another problem with specifically the Kronos in particular is that it is a very typical Galenta ship, and Galenta ships usually, not always, but usually they're known for having very big structures, and like their structure HP is their biggest HP pool. The armor and shields are usually a little bit smaller, with the armors being a little bit bigger than the shields usually. So we've got a pretty small armor HP pool right here. So this also makes it that when we've got these armor repairs going on, as you can see, we rep 5k HP. That is more than half the total amount of HP. So it's going to be extremely likely for me to over-rep here if I'm not, if I just don't happen to perfectly time it. And I can tell you, when you are in these stressful situations, this is not easy. And also, just generally speaking, it's not easy with the varied DPS increase of the Triglavian. Sometimes it can be really high, sometimes it can be really low. So what I'm trying to get at is that it's hard to manage these armor pairs the same way you would manage a shield booster. And when it's hard to manage these guys, you're going to get a lot of wasted HP per second by either over-repping or repping too much or bleeding through structure, and this causes you to essentially waste capacitor as well. So that's why I prefer the shield booster in this regard, because not only is the Trig Hunter Golem that I use, not only does it have more inherent capacitor. So if we turn off this shield booster, we have 63 gigajoules per second. So if we go in the Kronos that I used, If we turn off the armor repairs, we have 47 gigajoules a second. So this also has a bit stronger inherent capacitor, so it will naturally be able to recharge a bit faster. But when you are factoring in the armor repairs going on, we do have a 6-minute cap life. So that's one benefit though of the Kronos. That over time it has a bit better capacitor, but still this has a better inherent capacitor, and also it will be so much easier for you to manage this, because this is, I've not got crystal implants in right now, but we do actually, with the extra large shield booster here, we have a bit more HP per second than that Kronos. Along with that, when we press this, we'll instantly get the shield, so that's a good thing. So we can time it very well, saving capacity in that regard, no over-repping and over-repping, only repping when we need to. Then also, we have a big shield buffer, and this is also very good because, you know, it won't be that we can like get alphaed very quickly, like the Triglavian DPS can quickly wreck our shields a lot, but also that we don't over-rep as much because our shield boost won't just repping like almost all our HP bar in one cycle, wasting HP there, and in effect wasting capacitor as well, which seemed to be the biggest issue in those kind of mega fleets like I had before. And this also makes me want to as well doing some changes to this golem right here. I was thinking of putting a heavy Nosferatu right here, so we can maybe put like a heavy one right here. I've not got the good skills for this, unfortunately, so I'll have to be satisfied with the meta one until I get the skills for this. But I was also thinking that this would be a bit annoying, because I like the way the golem is able to have two salvages here, or just any marauder in general, and salvage at the same time as you're fighting, because this really helps a lot. Because it also helps that, you know, generally speaking, you don't have to spend as much cleanup time afterwards, essentially earning more ISK per hour. But also, if someone decides to like ninja salvage you, you're salvaging at the same time, so you will be losing less ISK to these ninja salvages. The thing is, ninja salvages are not that common, but they do happen. So I like to be able to salvage at the same time. So this could be an option, just replacing that tractor beam. So this could make our tractor business a bit worse, like maybe the more we're only relying in on the mobile tractor unit. But at the same time, it could be good because this gives us some nice cap life, because you can see here, if we're optimally using this, then we have 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Without this, 4 minutes. So that's a good thing right there. But I was also thinking that we could put like 2 of these C-type heavy, the medium Nosferatus, because we can do that to get like as cap stable with that. If we put these faction ones, because the Tech 2, I don't think they fit right here. Medium Nosferatu, they just do just about. Well, they do. We can even put Tech 2 ones as well. So we can put the Tech 2 ones here. The thing is actually that is good about the faction ones, though, the medium ones, is that they got better range, because the Tech 2 had very bad range. These almost have the same range as the heavy Nosferatus. But with these new Nosferatus here, we're pretty much cap stable. Now, obviously, if we turn this off, we'll have a very, very fat capacitor right there. So this would be ideally what I would use if I were to want to go up against these mega fleets. The thing is, I don't have that salvage utility, but I could do one thing though. I could put a mobile depot on the like where I'm salvaging, and then have it so that when I go out of Bastion, I wait that 1 minute and then refit to full salvages, and then salvage everything very quickly. And I've also got my salvage drones, just like I can use afterwards. So that'll be good right there. It's a bit annoying with how like this ninja salvages, because ninja salvages are going to absolutely annihilate me, because they will have the ability to just take everything. I won't be able to do salvaging during combat. But I feel like this will be the optimal fit here, to have a stable capacitor at least while fighting these Triglavians who are in these mega fleets, because the HP per second was there. The cap was not. So something like this would be quite good, I think. But considering that ninja salvages are not that common, I might even rock this. And what I could even do is just, you know, just leave them and just ignore them, or go to a different system if they try to follow me. But, you know, that's a bit of the price doing when you're making this kind of EVE content. People can sometimes want to troll you from time to time. So I'll see. I might do something like this in the future. Another option could be to go a Gist X-Large Shield Booster, but the thing is, this Pith X1 is so much cheaper, and is also very beastly in terms of its HP per second. So anyway, there we go. The luckiest day of my life in EVE. You can see my Kronos right here. I've not repaired it. Still got a bunch of damage, and it's got flickering lights from how I almost lost it. It was a really a scary experience, but also really fun just seeing how lucky I was in just like that. The coincidence that Hadeless Gaming managed to save my Kronos like that by just randomly rolling a wormhole was absolutely insane. And again, thanks a lot for Crystal for gifting me this Kronos hull right here. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video right here. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.